So our next question is going to be for the school board candidates. The question is, what measures would you take to ensure that our school district's curriculum is inclusive, up to date, and meets the needs of a diverse population of students?
Well, certainly that's a goal, excuse me, a goal of the district and always has been. We have to look at every student in our district getting the same education from elementary all the way through high school, so that no matter where you are in the district, that education is appropriate and it's beneficial to you as you're developing through your school years. So it's a key to us, and I mentioned earlier about our standard-based grading program that we started in the high school, modeled it for 4 years, and it has been very successful. We've seen growth in our students from that freshman year up until now in their senior year of 19 to 25% growth in 1 year. 3 to 6 is maybe typical, so it's working. That model, we're now beginning to look at how we're going to take it across the middle school and eventually down through the elementary schools. And that is, every student has the same opportunity to take and succeed from this type of plan, because it's mastery, and you work on your level and you grow at your pace, and in the end, everyone gets all those mastery skills, and it turns out that we are successful. I'll finish this with just that this program has been so successful here at Delaware that we have schools all across the United States who are sending their staff here to learn how to implement that in schools across the country. It's a game changer for our district.
Thank you.
I think a big part of being a school board member is something I would like to see when it comes to transparency and working with the community, with the parents, with the students, is also us taking the initiative to educate our community on what kind of things we are held to. The Ohio Revised Code has a great deal to do on what the school board's responsibility is to vet curriculum when they come in. I've lived here for 40 years. When I was in Delaware schools, the diversity that we saw back in the early 2000s was very minimal. It is a completely different community now than what it was then, especially Hispanic or our Asian community. There's so much more. There's more religion. It's just so much more of a melting pot than it was when I grew up, and I'm sure in before. I have a special needs son, so it is super important that we look at every student. We have to look at their unique needs. We have to make sure that everyone feels welcome, that everyone is getting a great education, and that we, all the responsibility of vetting, making sure that all different people, all kinds of kinds, are getting what they need, but we are also educating them at the grassroots too, and making sure that they're going to be productive adults.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll be short. I think we're capable of doing whatever we want to do on this planet if we have the right attitude. I think all kids want to learn. I think part of keeping us competitive is attracting competitive teachers. I'm talking the best and the brightest teachers that want to be here, that want to excel, that want to push the needle into the red as far as creating literally the next best, brightest generation of students. And we're in a really good position to do that, especially with Intel and all these other projects that are going to pull citizens into Delaware. Janelle's right, Delaware's way more diverse now than it ever was when we were kids. I don't really see that as a problem. I see that as a positive thing. So I won't sit here and argue about diversity and all that stuff. I think kids are smart. They go to school to learn, be safe, and I feel like it's our job to provide them with teachers and pathways to get them there. So thank you.
Kind of as Janelle said, the schools have to follow a code, Ohio Revised Code. There's just regulations that they have to follow. But I think it's also important to have conversations with those in leadership about diversity and inclusion, because we are definitely a diverse town, and it is important to acknowledge the intersectionality of each of us, because we have people of different faiths, people of different races, different culture. All that is important, and it's really having those conversations about what that looks like that's very important. And that's one of the things that I actually do daily as a chaplain. A lot of people think that I just help people die because I work in hospice. But I don't do that. I have lots of conversations with people in handling conflict, basically conflict management, around issues to do with race and religion, whatever the case may be. And so it's important to have those conversations with our leadership and teachers as well.
Thank you. If elected, I would want to understand what policies and procedures are utilized to determine the annual school curriculum and look for opportunities to challenge and improve those processes where needed. I would also seek to understand what processes are implemented to help identify the needs of our students and our community and any overall gaps in our academic performance of our students currently. I would also want to know what process improvement and quality initiatives the superintendent and the school board are actively working on to help make academic improvements today. I think it is important to understand that before we can understand how we can advance new curriculum and understand how to meet the diverse needs of the students going forward.